students, we are taking up epic theatre and specifically Brechtian epic theatre today for our discussion. But before that, we have to understand how theatre developed and just a quick glimpse at what kind of theatres were prevalent and popular before Brecht introduced the concept of epic theatre, and how did and from where did he borrow this concept? We know that there have been interactions between theatres of the West and theatre of the East. And when we look back at the history of European theatre and Indian theatre, specifically talking about Brecht, we find a great amount of similarity between Indian classical theatre. We have already read Natya Shastra. So we know that Brecht was influenced by Asian theatre, particularly one of the great Chinese actor, Mi Lang Fang, and he imbibed this element of actor character duality from, we can say, the Oriental theatre, and he used this to bring about the concept of alienation effect in his later theatre. But a very quick glance at the history of theatre. When we look back at theatre, we have the classical theatre, which was popular in Greece and Rome. We have in MA previous second and third and fourth paper, we have read about medieval theatre, which is represented by mystery and morality plays. Then we also had an idea about the Renaissance, where we had the Elizabethan theatre or Elizabethan age, we can call. We had the Royal Theatre, the court theatre of Spain and France. Then we also had Restoration dramatists and playwrights in our prescribed syllabus. And the Romantic theatre also, which was specifically represented by the neoclassical playwrights. And when we look back at the theatre or the history of theatre in the East, particularly in this paper, for this paper, we have talked about the Sanskrit drama, the Sanskrit poetics, the history of Sanskrit drama in reference to India. And Kathakali, although we did not discuss this, but we know that when we talk of Natya Shastra and the various rasas and the bhavas, we know that all dance forms of like Kathakali, Odissi, and Bharatanatyam, they focus on the bhav and rasa expressions. And in China, when we look at Asia, particularly in the East, we have China, which have Jishu theater, and Japan, we have Kabuki, Bunraku, and No theater. So this was just a quick look at the different kinds of theaters that we understand or look back at history of theater. When we talk of modern drama, because we are talking of Bertolt Brecht, and modern drama is said to date about from 1875 onwards, and it was particularly fed by revolutions in the US and France and in the 18th century. We can know this fact that there was a simultaneous political revolutions which were going on along with the revolutions of US and France in the field of philosophy, science, and religion. And two very important treatises which had influenced the modern drama to a highly great extent were Darwin's Origin of the Species and Karl Marx's Das Kapital. Origin of the Species gave us a complete different and new perspective on the evolution theory, and Karl Marx's Das Kapital uh, gave us an extra view of looking up at capitalism and imperialism, which were, according to theorists, is another form of colonialism. So these two texts, or we can say these two important treatises of the modern era, had a great influence on the kind of theatre and drama that existed in the West. Then we have few movements known as realism, naturalism, and symbolism, which also had influenced the theatre and drama. When we look at realism, it was just a reaction against the romanticism, which sought to develop a kind of an aesthetic because no realism, that one that was lifelike, something which is very closer to life, not very aesthetic and not very romantic. They wanted to present the subject matter very truthfully without any artificiality and avoided all artistic conventions and exotic and supernatural elements. Then we also had some playwrights who were talking about social and psychological problems of ordinary life. And Darwin and Freud, they were talking about psychoanalysis. We have acting styles, playwriting, and theater designing also prevalent during the era of symbolism. And few names which are associated with these movements, like Tolstoy, Emile Zola, and Ibsen, and Chekhov, and Shaw, Bernard Shaw. We know them that these were the important playwrights who had reflections of these movements in their plays and dramas somewhere or the later on. It is called, when we look at the modern theater and we say that it was an era of isms, we have futurism, Dadaism, idealism, impressionism, expressionism, constructivism, surrealism. Now, these are all the forms of stylized theater. Because when we look at Sartre, the kind of philosophical melodrama that he wrote and prescribed, and when again we look at Camus, Beckett, Samuel Beckett, and the theater of the absurd, we know that some kind of the impact of impressionism, expressionism, Dadaism, and futurism is seen in their plays. So these are basically all forms of stylized theater after 1875. Looking at the problem of the theater, we know that in the reference to Bertolt Brecht, he was a German theoretician and also a director and a dramatist. He borrowed the concept of Verfremdung, roughly translated in English as alienation effect. Now, this alienation effect has been borrowed from the Eastern traditional theater, and we have references also, we have similarities also, looking at the concept of alienation. It was a purely modern phenomena which took place, of course, in Germany after the First World War. And Brecht was a clear follower of Marxist ideology. So he believed that theater or drama should be an object of instruction rather than only entertainment, because in epic, the term epic in German, it means a particular kind of a narrative form.